I am the head of marketing and media in Vascotech, a subsidiary of Stallion Group.
I'm the brand manager for Coronation Financial Distributors.
I'm a software engineer.
So before Digify, I was working in a TV station as an electronic news gathering editor, but my major focus was on video editing. I kept asking myself that I came across Digify.
DigifyPro came at a point where I needed to, grow. I wanted to grow, right? It was like the second or third year in my career, and I basically had no job then because I had left TV.
So I think I got to know Digify years after my NYSC. I'd been back to Lagos, So when I saw Digify, I just jumped on it. And honestly, I think it was divine because that was the first time Digify.
And I would say for me, Digify has been
Odimo, I think from Punch or something, letting him know that we've already have over 883 applications. It's very competitive, but we have 125 slots, which is thanks to technology, because now they don't have to be in person. When we first started, 2018, I can see some of the people from the first cohort. Montgomery, number 8 Montgomery Road, Facebook had an office there, and you had to come in person. You had to come there and be there by 8 in the morning. Lecture started at 8:30. We closed at 5, but because they were also being provided internet and stuff, they would stay back to do their group assignments, leave there around 8 p.m. And the next day, they must be back again at 8. So that was a really tough boot camp. Now you can be in Abia State, you can be in Zamfara State, you can be in Sokoto, you can be in Enugu, and also be a part of the class. So if you know somebody that's a university graduate, 30, 8 to 10 amazing digital skills that range from content marketing to website building, SEO, data analytics, such a wide array, and they get a taste of this 360 degrees of what the possibilities of digital could be. Then they graduate, and boom, they have a work experience, and it just changes their whole life, changes their careers and their path.
So Digify has affected me chiefly by just uttering the way I think, and I think that's profound. I don't think you can buy that in market, anywhere.
Financially, I've been able to grow from where I was when I was a relationship manager at UBA. I've been able to support my families financially, been able to, take all of my own learnings that I had at Digify and put it on, translate all of those knowledge and insight into some other people's life in a way of giving back.
You're in Amukoko, but are you online checking for? There are free programs. There are programs that are paid for. There are programs that are subsidized. You need to go out there and then promote yourself.
One of the major problems businesses face these days is the shortage of skilled labor. Now, DigifyPro came in 10 quarters ago, and through the rigorous training and curriculum, they're able to develop candidates from virtually zero industry knowledge to being ready for the market within 8 weeks. That's an amazing, it's an amazing feat. Now, we as in Virus, we've had, I don't know, maybe like six candidates from the cohorts, and looking back now, I can picture how those candidates have always been star players within the team. That shows the credibility of the power DigifyPro has in evolving the industry. So they play a very important role in skills and capacity building.
It was nothing like all the other programs I've done. Sometimes I even buy courses online. It's like half-bitten apple. I take a bite here and there, and then I don't go through with it because Digify is different. The program, the hands-on training, you get real-life scenarios. We have other agencies who are already doing what I wanted to do. They came in, they gave us brief. We worked on live brief that they had, and it was something. They appreciated, the effort we put in, and even went ahead to pick a little bit of our ideas. So that doesn't only like give you the confidence, it also confirms to you that yes, I can do this. The training is worth it. And yeah.
What sets DigifyPro apart from other trainings is the fact that,
like, during your 8-week program, you already have a CV built because the program is so intensive that, like, you've covered so many things.
And they're very much vested into the program. There is no way that they would not create this impact into the students, and that is why it looks like all Digify alumni are kind of mini superstars or mega superstars.
So you're practicing during the program, and even after the program, you have a 3 months internship where you get the opportunity to showcase everything you've learned.
I would say Digify is a lifesaver. I would think that every
continuous, because in Kigali as a delegate for the first ever Generation Connect Global Youth Summit, I was able to meet, other young minds who are doing well in the digital space, who are involved in digital transformation. And this has really helped me grow in experience, in knowledge, and in relating with people in the industry.
Currently, I am working with 5 different brands, 3 Nigerian brands, and 2 are international brands. And I mean, you know how it is working remotely and you're working for 5 different brands. I mean, it's only Digify that can teach you and give you the skills to be able to do that kind of thing.
Digital divide by addressing the digital literacy gaps on the African continent. So I'm really, really proud of being a part of a project that is helping to build the digital skills and tech skills of the Nigerian youth. In extension, it helps to help the individuals, their communities, the organizations they work in, and the African continent as a whole.
I am a living proof of this thing. I am a living proof that Digify is really grooming world-class digital creatives out there.
Is all about the impact it has on young graduates, and also for the video from alumni telling us about the impact DigifyPro has been on them. And so far, we will be going to our first panel discussion, and the theme is Industry 4.0 Unleashed, exploring the limited potential of Industry 4.0 technologies, opportunities, and skills. So we have 4 people for this panel discussion, and they are here with us in the house. So I'll be reading their bio, and I'll be coming on stage after that. So the first thing we have is Obina Okewe-Kocha. I hope I don't murder your name, sir. All right. So Obina is a creative and content director. He's a creative thinker, art director, multimedia artist, film music composer, documentary filmmaker, AV editor, musician, storyteller, and a creative adventure seeker, and a creative community builder. So having spent over, he has had the unique opportunity of building Nigerian super brands. He has worked in offline and online television, film production, energy, branding, communications, and philanthropy as a brand programs manager at TEF, the Tolu Elumelu Foundation, working on various production and key continental marketing projects, especially the $100 million Tolu Elumelu Foundation entrepreneurship program that has impacted the lives of thousands of African entrepreneurs. At the moment, Obina is the director of content at MoneyPoint Inc. Incorporation, a high-impact microfinance bank empowering small and medium-sized business in Africa, provided with innovative tools for financial inclusion. So, everyone, welcome me, Obina Okerekocha. So, be our first. So, our next panelist is Bidemi Ladikbo. So, Bidemi Ladikbo has over 20 years of experience in enterprise, retail, and consumer marketing. 20 years. I was a slave, baby. And consumer marketing, management, customer service, retail rollout, and commercial project management in the Nigerian telecom sector, and has been a pivotal figure in the industry. Charles Bidemi's tenure, key responsibilities have included handling pre- and post-call network implementation and migration issues during the transition from Qualcomm to Ericsson and finally Huawei. Exposure to various billing making a valuable asset in driving innovation and inspiring others. Microsoft 365, Adobe Creative Cloud, and popular generative AI tools. This line like a CV. So, Chan Fampo will be monitoring this session for us. So, welcome, Chan Fampo Chipudi. All right, so I'll be handing over the mic to Chan Fampo, and then we can get started with our first panel discussion. All right.
Hi. Good morning, everyone. Thank you very much for attending Industry 4.0 Unleashed. You've heard the bio of the wonderful panelists we'll be talking with today in our very first session, and I promise you this is going to be a packed session for today. My name is Triumphant Paul, and with me are industry experts with diverse levels of expertise in the marketing, creativity, and technology. So today in this first session, we're going to be talking about exploring the limitless potential of Industry 4.0. We'll be looking at the technologies, the opportunities, and skills that are required to thrive in this new technology transformation. So before we dive into this session, I would like to pose a question to the audience. How many of us here have personally experienced the impact of Industry 4.0 in our day-to-day? If you just raise up your hands, just a show of hands to show. Yes, very good. So many of our audience here are already familiar with the subject. Now over to our panelists for just a quick imaginative response. If you woke up tomorrow morning and then Industry 4.0 has overnight transformed your industry, how would that look like? What would you first notice in your industry, and what would change in your day-to-day? So let's start from Mr. Obina. Thank you.
Hello. Yeah. If I woke up suddenly and Industry 4.0 had changed my... I think if I'm speaking about myself, I'm somebody who is... I never seem to be caught unaware adopting, the new trends of technology and just follow up what is happening. I think I've gotten a hint of it and adjusted myself, so I'll be taken unaware. So, because the truth about it is technology is changing every day. Every time you look at your device, you look at your... They say it's doom scrolling anytime you're going through your feed. There's always something new to learn. So I think that everybody's well aware, and we should continue keep being abreast of what's happening in terms of change. Yeah.
Thank you. Great response. Over to you, Mr. Bidemi.
Okay. Hello. Okay. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
And I'm glad to be here. So I would say for me, just like Obina has said, I think having spent 20 years in the telecoms industry in Nigeria and having worked across all the top telcos, one of the key things I think I've learned that has helped to keep, one being relevant is that you must keep learning. You need to keep watching the trends, whatever is going on. For example, when I was invited to come and be a panelist here, I just had to take it because it was digital, and I know everything about the future is digital.
True.
Despite having 20 years experience, being, at management levels in organizations, I still went ahead to get a digital marketing certification, which means I spent 6 months studying and actually writing a certification exam. So I think the key thing is we must be prepared. Expect change by the second. So we're talking Industry 4.0 today. Don't be surprised when you wake up tomorrow and they're already talking Industry 5.0, which means something else would have moved again. So you must never, be caught unawares. Be prepared is the word. Thank you.
Great response. Before we go over to Mr. Shion, if you have any question, please note your question down. Try to pass it to our moderators. And for those online, if you have any question, please put it in the comment section. Our community managers will hand over to me before we end the session. So, Mr. Shion, over to you.
Good morning. What I would say that we should concentrate on is adaptability. You adapt, just like how adapts to when it sees a particular threatening species. So you need to be able to adapt, because when you wake up, you're seeing something new. You're seeing that the algorithm that you're used to on Twitter has changed. You're seeing the algorithm of Twitter has changed. You have to change all your campaign. You have to change all your plans. So you have to be able to adapt. And how do you adapt? You have to ensure that you're looking forward to relearning and unlearning some things, so that immediately you wake up and see there's a change. Just like Obin has mentioned, you don't just panic. You're already on top of your game and you've made the necessary changes, and maybe your management doesn't have to say, Ocean, well, have you heard that CBN said that something that will affect your onboarding process? You're already on top of the game. You already know what is happening. You're already able to adapt that to your current campaigns. So I think adaptability is important.
Beautiful. So thank you very much for the responses. From what you said, I got that we need to stay abreast with the latest trends so that we don't miss out. We need to continuously learn. So lifelong learning, like you said, Mr. Bidemi. And Shion said we need to continually be adaptable. That's one of the skills of being competitive in this day and age. Now, we're trying to predict what's going to happen in the future. Looking at the past and the present, we know how the progression of this industry changes have come from industry, how it is impacting our industry today. Looking forward, what do you foresee would be the latest or the new changes, or what do you foresee the future of work is going to be like for us in your respective industries? So give us perspective based on your experiences, because each of you have unique experiences in different industries. So let's start with Mr. Bidemi.
So for me, what you find is that technology keeps evolving, and you have to move very fast so that you don't become, irrelevant. And by this, I mean, if you look at the telecoms industry, you would have seen 2G technology was okay at the point. When 3G came, everybody was happy. Oh, it's 3G. Then just a couple of years ago, everybody was saying, oh, 4G. And today, everybody is already saying 5G, we want 5G. So there's that need for speed. There's need for better latency in terms of the technology and the network, because everything we're talking about in terms of Industry 4.0 is about automation and is about connectivity. That's a summary of everything. So in that Industry 4.0, or the fourth industrial revolution, what powers it all is that ability to have, that telecom solution that is able to provide instant connectivity that helps you to automate everything you're doing, either at work or anywhere else. So in telecoms, for example, if you look at the subscriber base that all the big operators have today, when you're talking millions or running into hundreds of millions, how do you manage those customers when you have to talk to each one by one? It's practically impossible. You have to automate your processes. And that's what we're talking about when we talk about this Industry 4.0 and automating how everything is done. You talk about all the augmented realities, predictive analysis. I need to be able to analyze, all of the data that we're seeing. You talk about big data analytics. You need to be able to know this is this customer, this is what he did yesterday, this is what he did the day before, this is likely what he will do today. So you must be able to predict the customer and be able to give him the right kind of offers. For example, and you need to be able to completely automate this. So that's the way I see, I see us moving forward, or how we have been impacted, as an industry. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Oh, thank you. I'll say I'll be leaning towards more of AI, artificial intelligence. So we've seen the rise of ChatGPT, Google Bard, and the likes. One of the things that I like technology, and I like the fact that technology should evolve, but I have a challenge where everybody keeps saying that, oh, we're moving to, because we're going to see more of artificial intelligence in Industry 5.0. We're going to see that you could just type what you want and just run an ad. You don't need a copywriter. You don't need a content creator. You just go into one of those AI applications and they write everything that you need. And then boom, it's already on the internet, and then customers can interact with it. So what's the future going to be for you who is a content creator or you who is a digital marketer? If an AI can do all these things for you, where do you plug in? Where do you play? But I like to tell people that as much as I like AI, it cannot take away the fact that there's a human element and there's human emotions. When I see a content that somebody has written on social media, I can tell that the content comes from ChatGPT. I can tell. I see all the emojis, I see the structure, and I already know. And if I can tell, I'm sure that there are so many people that can tell that this is a ChatGPT information. So as much as we're moving to Industry 5.0, ChatGPT is a support tool, or the AI is a support tool. It's not necessarily a tool that you should fully use. It helps you make better decisions. Sometimes it can even help you to make predictive analysis, setting customers, how they behave, the future, how they move, how you can predict how your content can look like. So the way I like to think about it, it's a support system. So as we move into 5.0, a lot of things are changing. For instance, I'm a storyteller, so I call myself storyteller. I like to write stories. I can sell a product using a story, a personal story or somebody's story. That's the way I look at it. But I'm thinking, can an AI do the same thing? AI could probably write a story. AI could probably write a video content, but it might not have that emotion that I need. So we need to understand that part. Sometimes there's a way you write your content. If you look at, some of us have seen Airtel ads. It makes us feel mushy. It makes us feel, oh my God, can an AI do that for you? I mean, it will do some of that, but you still need an element. So as we move to Industry 5.0, you need to understand that there will be a lot of automations that will come into whether your Facebook is even recommending some automations now that people are complaining about. Meta. So, those things are coming up. They are going to change. So you need to understand how AI incorporates to what you are going to do in the future. Yeah.
Okay, so I think before we look at what's going to happen in the future, I think it's critical to take stock of what's happening now. Like in my area, I also classify myself as a storyteller, but being involved in film, in television, and all that, you find out that there's a lot of technological advancement happening. Like for instance, if you look at things like, say, you have artificial intelligence now when you're coloring film. You have things like suggestions for how a film should look, and those processes are pretty much automated and things like that. So for instance, if you look at how broadcast used to work before, now you can now connect smartphones and actually broadcast from smartphones. So you're looking at, it's a space where a lot of technology has changed, and a lot of people don't know that. When you put on your phone and you turn on filters, that's actually augmented reality, that kind of thing. When you put everybody, especially, young people obsessed with filters and all that stuff. You walk into a store abroad, for instance, and you walk in Ikeja, for instance, you're trying to look at how a piece of furniture will fit into your room. You just put your phone over it and it just shows you. So these are things that are beginning to affect how we look at life, how we experience life and things like that. So I think it's like he said, it's a question of being able to adapt and to note that it's going to affect every facet of life, that kind of thing. So I think, beyond, for people who use Photoshop, people who pretty much use, there's now how you can how you can, describe something and it feels it for you, that kind of thing. So this is how it's completely changed. So I think that we're getting to a point where pretty much there are really no limits, and that's why I agree with you in terms of the fact that, the human imagination cannot be replaced by AI, that kind of thing. So the question now becomes, how equipped are you understand? Because you're only limited by imagination, because you have a variance of tools to get you to do stuff you could never do before, that kind of thing. So that's how I would say. I came from traditional advertising. I started at my advertising career in 2005, worked at 2 agencies. I'm pretty much between 2005 and 2009. And between 2009 and 2012, the landscape of traditional advertising was completely disrupted because of digital marketing. It completely knocked down the pillars of traditional advertising. It completely changed how we look at ads. Now we're talking about performance ads. We're talking about how you can track performance, that kind of thing. All of that is not possible, without what's happening in Industry 4.0. So I think as we get along, it's good to see, because whatever is going to happen in the next frontier is already beginning to happen now. The question is, how do we adapt? Thank you.
Beautiful responses from all our panelists. I hope you get jotting down and taking insights from this session. So to go over what you've talked about, Mr. Bidi, we talked about automation, we talked about connectivity as the two main drivers for the technology transformation. We also talked about the different technological trends that are going on, AR, data analytics, big data. Mr. Shing, we talked about AI chatbots and how these tools are smart support tools and how they are to augment what we do, to give us an extra, to boost our capability. And Mr. Opina talked about the present movements and how everything we're going to see in the future is already happening now, and we can position ourselves even as we on our day-to-day and our work life. So you mentioned imagination, and I want to move over to our next question. I will talk about creativity. So how do you see creativity, what we do, how we think, and how we create? How do you see change with the rise of automation, with the rise of connectivity as Industry 4.0 continue to increase over time? Please, thank you.
Okay, thank you very much for that question. It's really an important question. I think that from a creative point of view, where you would spend a lot of time trying to bring a design to life, but these days with prompting and generative art, you can get ideas on the spin. Question is, are you smart enough to put together pieces of information to give you what you want? So that kind of thing. Like I give you an example. Since the advent of generative AI, so what I do as a filmmaker is, if I'm trying to create something called a pitch deck, that kind of thing, and I have this idea for a film, right? Normally, what I would have done is to go, look for a graphic designer or something. I mean, I do design myself, but I mean, a producer who doesn't have those skills will have to find a graphic designer, pay them money to come up with, this is actually what I want my film to look like, blah, 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 in terms of production design. But now, I can actually go into whatever it is. If it's a bunch of them, Wombo, plenty of Midjourney, etc. And say, okay, I can say Oshodi in 2037, that kind of thing, with flying ninjas, right? And I have a plethora of images I can choose from. I can put that together. Now, what is happening is that a lot of creative people are being empowered with tools to tell better stories. They're not limited by the fact that they can't bring that to life. So I can put that together, go to an investor and say, I need X amount of money because he can see my vision. Now, what happens is that technology has made that possible. Because, then again, it was only, reserved for a certain few. So if you look across the spectrum of creativity, the point is, a lot of creatives also think that this kind of technology is going to take away your jobs. No, because I was on a panel some months ago and I was speaking about, this AI thing and this AI phenomenon. I said, look, the creators who will succeed, who would excel, are people who know how to harness the power of that technology to use it to create exactly what they want to create. Because at the end of the day, it's everywhere. AI is been living with us for such a long time and it's not going anywhere, especially around creativity. So we're going to see more jobs in terms of opportunities also. But I think what is most important is that we're able to adapt. We're able to take that and run with whatever it is that we're going to do. Like in music now, in the whole landscape of music is completely being disrupted. I mean, we're talking about people doing artificial intelligence albums and releasing music and things like that. So how again do you take that, and bring it into your workflow to, in such a way that you still have your original? Because one thing that's very essential, let me say this in this room, is very important, is that what makes you a creative is your tone of voice. It is about what you are about, your individuality. AI shouldn't change that. It should enhance that. It shouldn't become, it's replacing me. The question now becomes how does it empower me to be what I want to be, to do what I want to do. So, without saying too much, I think that's the approach we should look at it from a creative standpoint. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much. Mr. Sheo, would you like to answer the question?
Just as Obina has mentioned, I mean, one key thing is your adaptability. You should be able to merge how you are as a creative person. We're all creative people here, I mean, you're in the digital space, so you are creative. You do some sort of creative act or some sort of creative work. So you have to find a middle ground at which you can use that tool to support. Just like I mentioned earlier, it's a support tool. It's not your whole entire platform to use. So if you're giving a task, it's supposed to make the task more easier. It's not for you to pull out everything and then copy and paste. Just like say when you go to school and you copy and paste something and you just paste the person's name and phone number and everything there on your answer sheet. So you're supposed to look at it, edit it, modify it to suit your taste or your tone of voice. Perfect. I think tone of voice is even perfect. Everyone has a tone of voice. Every writer. That's why if you see maybe a Chino Achebe or the likes, they have a certain tone of writing. If you see their writing, you'll be able to find out, oh, this person wrote this. So you shouldn't take away the flair of yourself or your authenticity from whatever content you're trying to do. Even if you're using an AI, that aspect should still be there. So going into the future, even for me as a marketing professional, I'm looking to see how I can ensure that as AI continues to advance, because it will continue to advance, it will evolve. The AIs are learning. Your Google Bard or your ChatGPT is learning. All of us are putting inputs, and it's learning, it's evolving. So it means that the next time you reach there, it most likely has evolved from the previous place that you were. I mean, I read a recent article saying that they had an AI that was learning at a rate of 60% or something like that, and was canceling some of the some things they are written already, codes. And so I mean, imagine that learning at that speed that it is, and then the human speed as well. So look for a way to merge how you can both use the tool to make yourself better, whether it be for your documentaries or for your writing, or just basically coming up with your campaigns. Before now, if you wanted to look for a campaign plan or a campaign template for a media company, you go to Google and start typing campaign plan plus PPXT plus PDF to get information. Yeah, and then you look through like 20 places or 30, they give you all kinds of, you're not even sure which one is correct. But if you go to like a ChatGPT and say, give me a template for a media company, it will bring it out for you. Then you will now go ahead and write it down, then start putting in some specifics, and then push out your plan. Makes your work very easy. Something that could have taken you 1 week will probably take you 1 day to finish, and you overpromise and over-deliver, right? That's the way forward. So look for a way to merge what you do with the tools that are available. If you're able to do that, you have a perfect selling.
Okay. I think creativity is at the center of everything. And whatever future you want for yourself, I think you just have to create it. And all of these platforms are there to sort of enhance whatever it is you want to do. However you want to do it, you have just been empowered to do it. That's what I see with Industry 4.0. You know, you could be right in your house here in Nigeria, and you could be doing a lot in any other country across the world. You could be having such massive impact without necessarily leaving Nigeria. That's the kind of power this has given us. And it's all about how well we're able to create or think creatively and come up with ways of using, you know, all of the tools that Industry 4.0 has brought to us. One thing that I've known about technology is you must always remember that with IT, with computers, with all of these things, it's all about garbage in, garbage out. In as much as a lot of people are leveraging ChatGPT and all of these tools today, a lot of people still don't know how to leverage it. If you don't put the right cues, the right words, give the right kind of instructions, it will just give you rubbish. It will be based on, because it's just going to use different algorithms. So if you haven't been creative enough, or if you don't put the right kind of information, it will just give you the exact same thing you've put in there. So you must be creative in every way. And that means that humans will always be relevant, regardless of whatever revolution we see out there. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your perspective. So to summarize, you said creativity and with the advancement of technology, it has made us have time-saving tools. We are able to now brainstorm. We are able to create faster. It's now just not just you, but now you plus AI, and makes you a super powered person in whatever field you are working with. That disrupted our workflow, making it faster and easier for us to create, and it helps us to voice out our originality. So we talked about it being just like every other computer advancement or every other tech advancement. It makes our work faster, makes our work easier, makes our work better. It's now brought us into a new phase as creators, that we're now supervisors rather than just hands-on technicians. We're now creative directors, directing the AI tools to be able to create things that we want from our visions, bring them to life. And you also mentioned conversational chat and conversational research. How it has become easier for us to get information when you just add, in contrast to how it has been in previous times. And Mr. Abidi, you mentioned that creativity is at the center of everything. And we should also know that the computer, it's garbage in garbage, as we have to give the right prompts. That is related to prompt engineering, giving the right prompt, giving the right cues. And you also mentioned that humans will remain relevant. Now that brings me to the next question. What are the key skills that you think as youths and as budding enthusiasts in this and professionals in this age and time, what are the key skills we need to learn, to adapt, to have in order for us to stay relevant in this advancement, the advancement of Industry 4.0? So I believe you can start off.
So about the skills, that's an interesting question. And I would say it's an interesting question in the sense that those skills that are relevant today, by tomorrow may no longer be relevant. So the secret is that you must be willing to learn. This is why it is so critical. You must have a community where you're constantly learning. Beyond the classroom, you must keep the network. So you're constantly getting the latest technology. You're learning the new things that are coming out. So today we're talking about augmented reality, we're talking about cloud computing, we're talking about IoT, you're talking about digital marketing. You know, there's so many things. You're talking about data analysis, and a lot of the times you realize that 6 months down the line, that might change. Everybody then rushes towards what they're talking about today, but 6 months down the line, because the technology has evolved again, new skills would have come out. So for me, what I would say is, you must be ready to keep learning. You must keep abreast of information, whatever new things are out there, and then you would always be at the top. That's what I would say.
Thank you very much. Yes.
All right. So in terms of skills, I mean, everything he said is really hits the mark, because at the end of the day, whatever is predominant in terms of technology is what controls the day, or is the order of the day. So, again, I think we're overflogging that word called adapt, being able to adapt. But I think that beyond that, I think there's certain things that will still, in terms of, at the end of the day, data is still critical to everything. So I don't think that's going to change. So I think that if you have, building a skill space around data science, I don't think that's ever going to change, because ever since the evolution of mankind, data collection has always been the thing. Whether it's a caveman collecting bones or collecting food for his family, at the end of the day, counting the seasons and stuff like that, that's data collection. That's never going to change. And everything around observing times and seasons is still data. So I think something that's critical to everything, whether it's Industry 5.6 to get, whatever it is, 10 or whatever, data science is not going to change. So I think that having some knowledge or building a career around that is something that I feel is going to go a long way in terms of skills. So that being said, everything else has the potential to change. But I think that, again, the DNA of everything else is essentially data information, data analytics, and data science. Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Shea. Over to you.
Thank you. I would like to add something a little bit different. Dynamics is your soft skills, very key and very important, your soft skills. So as much as you learn all these amazing hard skills, or data science, data analytics, digital marketing, if you don't have soft skills, number one, you cannot work with people. Remember that we're talking about the IoTs and the WW. You're going to be working with audiences that do not know you, races that do not know you. Someone from the Caribbean, someone from the Bahamas, someone from UK, someone that speaks a different language from you. How do you communicate with the person? How do you ensure that they understand what you are saying. Those skills are very key. We even talk about leadership. How do you lead such a team basically from Nigeria, and you're leading a team in the UK or the US? How do you deal with that particular dynamics? Remember that they are coming from a different environment. So you also need to understand emotional intelligence. There are going to be some conversations that you're going to sit down in with management that if you're in the front line, you can have those certain conversations. But if you're in a management meeting, remember you're going to be discussing business models. You're going to have to fight for your campaign. I'm a marketing person. I fight for my campaign all the time with the directors and the management. No, we're not spending 15 million. You cannot give you 15 million. What do you want to use it for? And you have to be able to have those hard conversations and tell them that this is the result I want to get. You need to give me this money to be able to get the result that I have. But remember that you cannot shout about it. You cannot make noise about it. But you can express yourself in such a way that they can understand. So those things in terms of communication, in terms of how to lead, in terms of how to respond to emails. Some of us will leave here, we will leave working in agencies. You go to a corporate, oh, I want to work for Google, I want to work for Facebook. Remember that you'll be sending emails, you'll be responding to people. How do you handle those kind of conversations? Very key. That is even what will make you advance to a manager level. You might still be doing your digital marketing at a certain level. But even for people who are software engineers, tomorrow you want to become a CTO, right? If you want to become a CTO tomorrow, you need to know some financial modeling. You're not just going to be only building the back end. You need to also do some accounting if you're building a financial platform. That means you need to know a little bit of finance, you need to be able to know a little bit of leadership, and you need to be able to combine those two together if you want to be a future CTO. We're saying that you're not stopping at data analytics. So I think it's very important to be able to take your soft skills to another level. Aside from your hard skills, go for training, learn how to speak, learn how to communicate. I can tell you, for instance, that I have stepped in places where it is because I can speak and it is because I can talk, not necessarily because of the skills that I have. So when I get there, I can now show my ability in the skills that I have acquired. That is how you perform. Thank you.
Beautiful. Thank you very much. Please a round of applause for the wonderful responses. So to summarize, we talked about Mr. Obina, you talked about the willingness to learn. And that is something that I find very, very, very useful for every professional out there, regardless of whatever industry you are in. The ability to learn and to continuously learn as a lifestyle, that's very important. And you talked about how everything that we know today is going to change over time, because the cycle of relevance always rise and fall with the interest of different skills of technology. And now this skill, the willingness to learn, is going to help us in the long run. You talked about data skills, right? And you talked about data skills and how it's very relevant and has been there from time immemorial, right? And how from hunters-gatherers to the very moments that we are in now, data skills have been very important and useful for every industry we work in. And lastly, to sum it up, you added a very key perspective regarding soft skills, and you gave a number of soft skills: leadership, communication for impact, emotional intelligence, financial literacy. And you also mentioned how this is important for career advancement and taking you to the next level in your career. We've talked about many of the positives in the technological advancement. Now, what challenges do you foresee going forward into this Industry 4.0, into the advancement of technology? With more automation, with more connectivity, what challenges or what problems do you think that we will face as a generation? Let's start from Mr. Obina.
I think quickly off the bat, when we're in Africa, you need to look at data penetration. What is the level of access, smartphones, to digital devices? If you look at that, if you take stock of that, you find out that there's still a lot of work that needs to be done in this area, because if Industry 4.0 is truly to become ubiquitous, then a lot more people who need the technology need to have it. So I think there's already the challenge of access to technology as well, the internet. I think as much as we talk about, we are in Lagos, for instance, there are places that are already 5G enabled, like my estate where I stay, they tell you, welcome to a 5G enabled estate and stuff like that. But it's not the same scenario for everybody. Some people living in the nether realms of Ikorodu don't have access in Ekpe. So my kind of, what tends to happen is that we seem to address these issues like we're living in a bubble. We're not. If you look at the geographical spread, it's not the same in terms of the internet spread. So I think that poses a challenge, that kind of thing. I think the spread of data, the internet, and penetration needs to happen for us to truly achieve, the goals of what we're talking about. So I think that's a major challenge. And also, another problem is what I think, that's where I think DigifyPro is bringing the gap is capacity development. Being able to develop that knowledge and skill set, that kind of thing. It's also a challenge, DigifyPro, what was the number we're talking about? 3,000 people, right? I think from but that's barely scratching the surface, right? There's so much that we need to have at least 1,000 more DigifyPros, that kind of thing. So capacity development, what is the internet penetration and internet drive and things like that. So these are things that we need to really look at, if we're to really, make it work, attack these problems, solve these challenges. Thank you.
Okay, I think that in terms of challenges that we may experience, one of the things that I have found out is, I'll just talk from two perspectives. First is the fact that now that these tools are available, people feel like I can do bad all by myself, right? So now I can do everything by myself. I don't need anybody. I can just do a prompt and everything is already here. And you find out that you're having discussions or conversations with some certain managers or some certain... Why I'm bringing up this is because I sit in some certain tables and I hear some certain conversations that, oh, this tool is here, I can do it within 5 minutes, I can do it within 10 minutes. We're now in a space where I don't even need you, right? I don't need you to be there. I'll sit down on my table and I'll do as much as possible. But we all know the reality of things. There are tools to work. You still need the human element, and you still need to do, or you still need to have the expertise. That is something that is coming up a little bit more frequently and more. Where you're able to evolve to a certain level. So I think it's very important, and I love what DigifyPro is doing, and I think that there is more to do. There is more opportunities because the challenges will still be there. I still got to in October. I'm still seeing people don't know when we talk about social media, and they are looking at you like, what's they are still in their 2G phones. 4G is a myth to them. Some people, the way we dream about having a passport, some of us, We say, oh, I have your passport. I'm dreaming that tomorrow I'm going to travel to the UK. But some people don't have, can't even afford to buy a passport because they don't see themselves leaving their vicinity. So we still have the opportunity to penetrate. And once we can do that, I'm very certain that they like this.
Okay. For the audience, what I would like to say is, let's try and keep ourselves abreast of new technologies, things that are happening around us. Let's spend a lot of time educating ourselves, learning new trends. They are not as difficult to learn these days. And more importantly, let's try them out. Let's not just say, oh, there's some people are talking about one big buzzword. By the time you read about it, you realize it's not a big deal. It's just not a big deal. It's something you can do. It's something we can do. It's simple. COVID has taught us that even our grandparents can use Zoom. You know, everybody can use smartphones. Prior to now, would have thought, oh, it was very hard. You know, a lot of us could not adapt to it. But even our grandparents actually use it now. Our kids are the ones that actually teach us how to use the smartphones these days. You know, when you're trying to do it, they say, no, you can do this. So everybody can learn it. It's as simple as that. So we need to expose more people to it, and we need to be open to learning. Thank you.
So for me, it's can you hear me? Okay, great. For me, it's very simple. In 2020, the world changed, right? A lot of what we experienced, a lot of industries crashed, a lot of industries completely, got halted and stuff like that. So what I would say is, I want us to keep our state of minds always like that the world changes every day. So it's not about 1 year of changing the world. The changes are happening on a daily basis. So you stay hungry, stay open, stay tuned, that kind of thing. And look around what is happening around you. Don't be oblivious to what is happening around you, because that change is happening. Without your say-so, it doesn't matter whether you're in line, that change is happening. So always look to what is happening around you, because, that way, that's the only way you can adapt. That's the only way you can probably, be essentially in tune with what's happening. So that'll be my last word. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Mr. Shem, your last word?
My last word would be take a chance on yourself and do. Very important. You can come to DigifyPro and learn. If you do not do the work, you will not get any results. So take a chance on yourself and do the work. If you see an opening, I want you to take it and do the work. Don't leave it open. So it's very important. The marketing space is all about doing. Even as professionals, you have to unlearn and relearn. There are some certain campaigns, like I was saying on Twitter yesterday, they will humble you. You do a campaign and you'll be humbled. Do you understand? You planned, but when you do the campaign, when you see the result, you'll be humbled. So I want us to go out there, and I want us to take a chance on ourselves, and I want you to do it. Do the actual work that you've learned. When you're able to do it and see results, you can evaluate how you can become better and perform better. So just like Nike's logo, just go ahead and do it.
Thank you very much. A round of applause. That's our time for this session. And to everyone listening, I encourage you, take your learnings from this session and convert it into action. Whether it's upskilling, fostering collaborative communication like we did here, and also engaging in initiatives like DigifyPro to upskill yourself. Thank you very much for attending to our first final session, exploring the limitless potential of Industry 4.0. And thank you very much.
A picture with you. All right, so we're going to our next panel discussion. So please, because we are having some people trying to be Nigerian time, so can we move forward a bit so that we can fill the empty spaces in front? Can we move forward a bit, please? Can we move forward a bit? Please, can we move forward? Just take a picture. Can we please move forward a bit so that we can place the pictures? But can we please move forward a bit? All right. Okay. All right. So we'll move next to our panel discussion. Our panel discussion topic to talk about how do you adapt your career to the 4.0. We read from our panelists from the panel discussion talking about the opportunities in the 4.0, AI taking over so many things. You have to skill yourself. You have to get certain things done. So we talk something. He said that basically that because he can talk, he can speak, has opened door for him. So it's not enough to know how to use the tool. You should also have other soft skills so that you will be able to, when the opportunity comes, you'll be able to know how to use that soft skill to upscale that skill of that technology that you are using. So move to our second panel discussion. They're talking about how do you adapt your career to Industry 4.0? What are the insights from digital marketing experts? So this panel discussion is talking about. This panel discussion is basically about our alumni that are working in different marketing space. So how do you insights from digital marketing experts? So we're talking about different things that you can do as an upcoming digital marketing expert. What are the things that you need to do? Like I want to probably say that you can use ChatGPT to write your copy, your content, create so many things. But how can you now use technology better in a way that it's help your work, make your work easier? So we're moving on to our second panel discussion, and our first speaker is Edwin Nabude Chukwemeka from Cohort 1.0, DigifyPro. So Edwin Nabude Chukwemeka is a digital marketing partner at Coronation Insurance, where he has been instrumental in driving growth and success for the company. With a passion for marketing that dates back 8 years, Edwin began exploring ways to improve brand perception during his university years. His commitment to the field and innovative ideas earned him an A grade on his research project, graded as the best in his department and one of the top 3 in his college. Prior to joining Coronation, Edwin served as an advertising specialist at Eskimi, an advertising executive at Omnicom Media Group, OMG. During his tenure, he worked with top brands including MTN Nigeria, Globalcom, Film One, Virgin Atlantic, Coronation Financial Distributor. His expertise and contribution were key to driving growth and building strong, lasting partnership with these companies. Edwin is a strong believer in innovation, transparency, and growth. He recognizes that these values are essential to build trust and credibility with clients and colleagues alike. When not working, he enjoys reading and discussing theology. Edwin is a pastor, running and spending time with his family. So welcome with me on stage, Edwin Nabude, DigifyPro Cohort 1.0. All right, so for our panel discussion 2, we have the second speaker, Omotayo Shobayo from DigifyPro Cohort 1.0. So these are our alumni they are the first people that set the pace. With over 4 years of experience developing and executing successful growth, products, and marketing strategies for various organizations. With a strong analytical mindset and a passion for data-driven insights, Omotayo has a proven track record of leveraging insights and marketing trends to drive growth and profitability. He is skilled in market research, strategy, performance marketing, and data analytics, and has the ability to develop compelling marketing messages that resonate with target audience. Omotayo proudly badged a bachelor's degree in computer science from the Federal University of Agriculture at Abeokuta in 2018, and also selected as part of the first 20 candidates for a Facebook and Digify Nigeria Digital Skill Bootcamp out of over 700 applicants in the same year. He holds a goods marketing certificate from CXL, a global marketing institute for the top 1% of marketers. Omotay's career journey has spanned 4 marketing agencies: Creative Studio, Extreme Ideas, Web Coopers, Pulse Ghana, and 2 crypto startups, Bondo and Kandu. Bondo and Kandu. He currently lead goods at Credit Bar, a credit card tech company with over 500 users. Welcome me, Omotayo Shobayo. Okay, we have our top speaker. We have Kingsley Oko. Is that yes? Pronounce your name right. Okay. From DigifyPro 1.0. These are the forefathers. Kingsley Oko is an accomplished digital marketing specialist with about 2 years of experience driving end-to-end data acquisition campaigns across social, display, search, programmatic advertising. He currently serves as a data marketing specialist at Kingmakers, where he leads paid acquisition strategy and execution across multiple data channels for BetKing. In his role, he leverages data-driven insights, analytics to optimize budget allocations and campaign performance, collaborating cross-functionality to analyze trends, uncover incremental opportunities, and make informed decisions to improve campaign effectiveness. Prior to his current role, Kingsley has worked across levels with Dentsu Nigeria as expert and S Plus, honing his skills and leveraging across search, social, display, and video advertising to deliver standout campaign results from leading consumer brands such as Coca-Cola, Diego, Sanatata, Olivia, Picnic, Sony Pictures, and all. Across markets in Nigeria, he holds a bachelor's degree from University of Ibadan. When he's not managing to marketing campaign, Kingsley enjoys playing video games. Kingsley is a gamer, following the trends on the internet, watching sports, and other hobbies. Welcome me, Kingsley Oko from 1.0. Our fourth speaker for this morning, for the second session, is Adeola Adenipekun. Adeola Adenipekun is an award-winning multimedia creative growth marketer. Sorry, DigifyPro 1.0. All right. 2.0. Oh, 2.0. DigifyPro 2.0. Adeola Adenipekun is an award-winning multimedia creative growth marketer, animator, and storyteller. Drawing upon her extensive expertise in digital media advertising, she has founded a media service company and spearhead media, community, and partnership initiative at Check DC. Welcome me, Adeola Adenipekun from DigifyPro 2.0. So to moderate this session is our very own DigifyPro 6.0, Rosemary Hani. Rosemary Hani is a seasoned professional with background as a product marketing manager, currently serving as the CEO at McChosey Ventures Limited. With a proven track record, Rosemary excelled in leading teams and driving business growth through strategic brand development, content creations, successful multi-channel campaigns. Her diverse skill sets include expert in digital marketing, media buying and selling, data analytics, B2B communication, among others. As a good marketer, Rosemary has established and managed marketing and customer support department, contribute to business growth, increase revenue, and developing alternative revenue. She orchestrated a successful business launch event, collaborating with various media houses, government officials, and agencies in her previous role as a marketing manager at Stallion Group. In the realm of tactical digital advertising, Rosemary achieved outstanding results, including a remarkable 100,000 app download and 40% sign up within 30 days of the app launch. Rosemary is a proud graduate of Unilag, who is a digital marketing professional, and is recognized as a 3x Meta certified professional. Currently pursuing her MBA degree at Quantic School of Business and Technology, Rosemary brings a wealth of knowledge and experience to her current role as CEO as McChosey Ventures Limited, a growing advertising company in West Africa, making her a valuable asset in the advertising and marketing space. So welcome to me, Rosemary, DigifyPro 6.0.
Thank you very much. I couldn't have asked for a better panelist to discuss adapting your career to to Industry 4.0, because these are experts in their industries. Adiola is a creative genius from Czech DC and Kingsley, doing amazing wonders in Kingmakers. Shobayo is the head of growth. He's the head of growth marketing in Credpal, and our boss over there from Coronation. Thank you very much for. And we are all Digify products. To open this session, I would like each and every one of us, starting from Kingsley, to share your journey, starting from when you were lucky enough to be picked as a participant in Digify 1.0. So you share your journey with us and how you've adapted your career to Industry 4.0.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, thank you very much. I think it's been a very long journey. I was tapping tired the other time when Florence was introducing the entire our opening remark and saying we started in 2018 and this is already 2023, which is about 5-6 years, and it felt like it was not just yesterday. So I can remember the entire process from going to Yaba for the interview to getting called up. It was quite an exciting thing. Oh, it was myself and Adam. Adam is not around now. Oh, very nice. Had to be in Yaba by 8 a.m. every day, Monday to Friday, work on briefs, do a lot of things. And it was interesting. We didn't know what we were preparing for. I'm not sure we had an idea what the outside world exactly looked like and how competitive it was going to be. But the good thing was all our 8 to 5 preparation there, it kept us enough for what we're going to actually meet outside there. Got into the agency, so I started at iProspect. From Digify, I was posted to Nitro first, but I didn't resume at Nitro. I resumed instead at iProspect, and it was interesting. Virtually every other person was probably doing creative, somebody else was doing digital strategy and all. Well, I went plunging deep into performance immediately. It was me crunching numbers, crunching data. It would have been a struggle, going back to say, oh, there's something where Digify came in. At Digify, we are already exposed to this. We had seen what it meant to work under pressure. We get briefs by Wednesday evening, and by Friday we needed to present. There was a time when we needed to go outside to do interviews and make videos and then ensure everything was ready the next day. It wasn't like, the boot camp wasn't like we were living together and we'd say, okay, we'll work together. So by 6 o'clock we needed to leave Facebook building and all. So, but all of that, the whole idea was, we could do big things even within a small time period. And that was the kind of preparation that took someone like me into the agency, where it was very fast-paced. At the time in the agency at iProspect, I was handling the Diageo account alone, and under the Diageo account, that was about 13 brands on its own, accompanied by a couple of other things. So you were writing the strategy, you were doing the planning, you were implementing, you were doing the reporting, and you were doing all of these things at the same time. So, everybody expects you to come out with excellent output. So having that kind of training, that kind of work not exactly under pressure, but exactly doing great work, equipped me enough. Then it helped me to move faster, learn a lot of things better. I compare people that come from Digify to others that just get into the advertising industry as entry level and all. The level of exposure is usually quite different. It's easier for you to integrate because you had 3 months of being exposed to something similar, even though it's not entirely broad, but at least something similar, you had an idea, so it was easier for you to adapt. I remember my first line manager wanting to show me Facebook Ads Manager, and I'm like, oh, sorry, I think I'm familiar with this. So she, excellent. Okay, do this, and you can take it up by yourself. Or she brings a particular tool, and I'm like, oh, I actually know. Like, we went from being, we already had the basics from Digify and all of the entire training. So it was literally going straight into implementation, and you didn't need to stress or put anybody through the burden of training you all over again. I'm about to manage people too, and I understand why and how difficult it is to want to train people all from the scratch when they do not understand. Trust me. It's interesting, but it's not the best of experience. So it's always interesting where you can get somebody who actually has that basic covered, and you just need to just hold their hands, and every other thing gets easier. Moved from my prospect to Digitex Plus, where I needed to do even much more things. Needed to take on more roles and the likes. And well, presently, yeah, Kingmakers, Bet King. At the moment, I say I don't think I even do so much work again. It looks like everything, I get so familiar with it. Sometimes I have to ask myself, okay, are you doing enough? Are you not doing enough? But over a couple of years, I would say it's been an interesting journey, and it's one I'm actually very grateful for.
Thank you very much for sharing how you started and how you've adapted and how you are no longer doing so much work. Honestly. Mr. Edwin, please share with us.
All right, thank you so much. Is it morning or afternoon now? Morning. Morning, everyone. Good morning, Mrs. Clarence. Good morning, everyone. Before I share, I would like to appreciate my brother and my friend for coming with me, Bolaji Hassan. Thank you so much. He's part of the online call 3.0. And he agreed to follow me, take pictures and all of that. So thank you. Hello, everyone. So my career has always been with artificial intelligence. And I've now evolved to a point where I'm more of a project manager, and I'm very sales targeted, which I hope that, every marketer in this room should come to. Your goal is to evolve to a state where you manage projects, you manage people, and you are sales driven. So I was lucky to be selected by Digify NG in 2018. Coincidentally, I just finished NYSC. I had worked for maybe a year, and quite honestly, I was hungry and I was lost. Maybe again, I came from a background where I'd lost my parents very early. At 11, both parents were gone, right? And even though I went to a private school, but coming out without any form of guidance, I was just hungry and looking for a path forward, and met Digify, got selected, and I was also lucky to be quickly identified by Mrs. Florence as someone that had potential. One other person that identified was Tayo. And it was not just by how we looked, it was based on performance. We would do weekly tests and we would prove that we had the potential, and she identified that, and she pushed us. After Digify, I was placed at an advertising agency, Omnicom Media Group, similar to, or a competitor to the firm that Kingsley worked. And there I was lucky again to have a mentor that identified my strengths. Miriam Ayoade, someone that I'm eternally grateful for. So she identified two things in me. First was my ability to be a strategist. I remember she would always make fun of me and say, a digital strategist, based on how I will always pronounce digital. I will pronounce it as digital, and she will always make fun of me. But yes, she identified my ability to take out insight from raw data. And so she moved me to Airtel, and OMD handles the advertising for Airtel, and if you know Airtel, you know that they're really data driven, right? It was in that year we realized that, hey, some of these ads do better in certain states. So started to do the Yoruba version of certain Airtel ads, the Hausa version and all of that, and we targeted them to specific states, and so she placed a demand on that potential she saw, and that helped me. I'm just listing out people that really, really impacted my life, and how that you need mentors. If there's a prayer that you should pray about, I think it's for people that will stress you and that will help you go, and that you have the common sense to realize that it may be hard now, but it's for your own good. Another skill or potential that she had identified in me was my ability to tell story through advertising, and that came out through Vox Pops, even influencer marketing. So I remember we won an award, a Cannes Lion award based on what we did for Huawei, where we had influencers drop. It was just an interesting storytelling. So she identified that and she placed a demand on it, and I got stronger with that. From OMD, DGS Loss, I moved on to Eskimi. At Eskimi, of course, I was still running advertisement and using artificial intelligence, because what happens when you run performance ads is the platform spends 5,000 naira and gets to learn that, okay, I think your audience are more on stories or are more on reels, so I'm going to focus more on that, and that's artificial intelligence, and that's part of industry 5.0. This code is really affecting my voice, I'm sorry. So from Eskimi, I moved on to Coronation FD, Coronation Financial Distributors, a startup, and there we did great things. Coronation Financial Distributors was later bought by Coronation Insurance, and I'm now with Coronation Insurance. So thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Edwin, for taking us through your journey. We really appreciate it, and I can tell you, I also have such emotional testimonial from Digify. Digify has really impacted all of us and is the foundation as to why we're here today. Tayo, please share with us.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. So, before Digify, I was working at... Can you hear me better? Okay. Before Digify, I was working at an agency, but I was just there for 3 months. And then I asked myself, do you have enough skills really to thrive here for long? And the answer was no. So one day while I was on the BRT queue heading home, someone posted the link of Digify in DigiClan group. And then I clicked on it and I saw, oh, you can apply for Digify and learn digital skills. And then I decided to go for it, filled the application and submitted. I was waiting, hopeful for a response. I didn't get a response quickly. I think it took maybe 7 days before the response came or something. And the email came in that you're shortlisted for an interview. I was just so excited. And I went for the interview. That was the most intense interview ever that I attended before then. And, it made me understand that you're not coming to DigifyPro to play or to waste your time. You're actually coming here to really learn. And after I got shortlisted and, I was picked among the 20 candidates, I knew that this was a defining point for me to, upskill myself. And most people who knew me then were asking, oh, why did you quit then to, come into Digify? I was like, I needed more. I've not really learned so much at that time. So I got into Digify, met Edwin, met Kingsley, and a whole lot of other people, amazing people. We would collaborate together. There are times that we would even come earlier than the time to work on briefs and even stay late than the closing time to even still continue on the briefs. And even when we get home, we'd have virtual calls to still, work on our briefs. We're so passionate about what we're doing at that point in time. So after Digify, I got posted into Extreme Ideas. That was the first place I interned. So I interned there, thankful for the person who also groomed me at Extreme Ideas too. And after Extreme Ideas, I moved to Web Coopers. So at Web Coopers, I was an digital account strategist, and that's where I got most learning. and even the revenue team, just to make sure that our users are not stopping at the acquisition stage, but all the way down to the revenue stage.
Hello, everybody. Good morning.
What?
Hello, hello. Hello, is this better? Okay, okay. Good morning, and yes, thanks for having me here for this very special opportunity. It's good to be among you guys again after such a long time. Um, so for me, I think everybody has pretty much said everything, and I feel like my colleagues here have done a lot more hopping than I have done. Straightforward, and I think we all have the same foundational story. I think Digify found us, or we found Digify at certain points in our lives when we really all just needed it, right? I think that's something we all agree on. And yeah, I think when I found Digify, it was just before the first cohort was over, and my friends at the time were the ones, covering the media and things for the program. And so I found out about it through them. But then I was volunteering at SW as a copywriter and social media manager at the time. And, I think I had been there for 6 months before I found Digify. And, I gave my shot at it. I applied, got shortlisted, went for the interview. Again, very intense, like everybody agrees. It was very intense. I answered those questions, hoping, fingers crossed, that I was going to get in, which I did, luckily. And it has been a key. I don't think I can think about my career and not mention Digify at any point in time. It's been a big part of my career, and the entire process the entire time there was intense. It was life changing. We needed to. Can you hear me? Is this better? Okay. Yeah, the skills we needed to stay relevant as much as we needed at the time. And yeah, I went on from there, got my first role with Bluebird Communications as a content strategist, copywriter. I was there for 2 years. I got to work on a lot of, mostly insurance, finance brands, interesting times. And then I went on, before Digify, I've always been big on content creation, and it was something I wanted to continue pursuing, full time. So that birthed, the Stop Motion Factory, where I, help brands create stop motion animation for their brands, for the services that they provide, and whatnot. And then down the line, while that was happening in the background, I sort of started to feel like I was getting left behind, because I wasn't, like everybody has said in the previous panel, keeping up to the trend, staying relevant. And I wanted to get back into the system, right? I wanted to get back into the system. And one way I was able to do that was to try to find again what it is I was passionate about. And in finding that relevance, I found the importance of community. Right? So in everything that we do generally in the digital space, right, it still, to a very large extent, revolves around people. It revolves around people. It revolves around how people interact with whatever service or product that you're providing, right? People are the center of this. And basically, without people, right, your product is as good as useless. So I wanted to get back into that space using that avenue, and I joined Check DC as community manager. Gave my best there, and that role has gone on to transition even into something more than that. There is now the media side to things for me. There's now the partnership side to things for me, and I think I have overall, evolved in my own way, right? Staying relevant and finding relevant, staying relevant in the ever evolving digital world. So yeah, thanks again. Very big thank you to Digify for the opportunity, the very rare opportunity, which, in my opinion, was too good to be free. And we got all that for free. So thank you very much, Digify. Thank you, Meta.
Thank you very much, Adiola. So let's dive straight into burning questions that I know are in the minds of a lot of young people. Currently, we know the economy is growing. Let me just use that word. There are less jobs right now. We cannot talk about career without talking about the things that matters. And then now a lot of young people are looking into exploring the gig economy, getting jobs abroad and while working from here. So this question is for you, Mr. Edwin. Seeing as the gig economy has become a key interest for most young professionals, do you think this will impact our economy, and how?
Can you hear me? Okay. So the question is, how will the gig economy affect the economy, seeing that a lot of young people are now vested into this? I think that question is very interesting. Interesting because when we look at it, we see that there are two industry sectors that experience so much rise in gig economy. The first is the creative industry, and the second is knowledge intensive sectors. So things like consultancy and the rest of them, right? And it makes sense because if I sing, I can sing for multiple, vendors, if I'll use that word. And if I draw or make art, it's easy for me to have, multiple vendors. Take Diola, for example, and the business that she has started, right? It pays her to start something as opposed to working for just one person, and that's what the gig economy is. Okay, so let me break. I like to explain things very clearly. The gig economy is a system where first you have a platform that allows service providers to be able to reach out to customers that need their services. A platform that, or a sector that's done this so well, is the ride sector, right? Book a ride, you're a customer, you need a service, and it brings you to provide. Um, and so we see that these two sectors, both the creative and consultancy or knowledge sharing sectors, is very easy for them to, go into the gig economy, listening, or if you are just at a phase where you are considering going into gig economy, you will find this interesting, that if you are into creative, or you are into a consultant, or you are into knowledge sharing, it's way easier for you to, go into gig economy. Of course, there are very positive impact, going to gig economy, especially for Nigeria. You have the ability, especially with platforms like Fiverr coming up, even LinkedIn. You have the ability to offer your services for multiple multiple vendors and all of that. And
in terms of our economy, of course, it will have positive impact. My concern, however, is this: is the ability for us, both as individuals, as business owners, and as the government, to ensure that the gig economy is a sustainable reality. And for us to do this, we need certain things in place. You know, I think it was shown earlier that mentioned that we need things like fast internet connections, right? We need things like more broadband. We need things like cheaper devices, mobile devices, PCs that we have in adapting Industry 4.0 is firstly the cost. Sometimes some of these things are expensive, some of this software that they may use. And the simple solution to this is partnerships, you know, especially knowing the benefit of adapting to this, you know, do a proper profit and loss analysis, present it to partners, and, you know, get them on board. In the next 5-7 years, cover your cost, and, you know, you're good. I think another challenge is the culture change. If you're going to adapt to Industry 4.0, some of the things that you are doing will change. And it's more of an employee thing, right? Like they say, culture will eat strategy for breakfast. If we are bent on doing certain things a certain way, it becomes a problem. So, for example, if we are using paper to do our claims in insurance, and Industry 4.0 is here, and we've adapted, we have the systems in place, but your people are bent on using paper, writing with ink. You know, your systems will just be accruing costs, you know, because nobody is using it. And the simple solution is to use reinforcement and reward schemes, right? Make those that actually use your system be recognized and rewarded. Another challenge that Industry 4.0 may pose to young business is just the fact that you have a new business model. It's very similar to culture change, but this is now more top-level management. We have a new business model that, you know, our top-level management needs to learn very quickly. You know, okay. So let me wrap up. So there are several other challenges that Industry 4.0 can pose, but the good thing is we have solutions to this. Let me speak quickly to some of the myths that we have with Industry 4.0. One of the myths is that it is expensive. Not necessarily. Like I said, some of these things, use them already in ChatGPT. You know, for those of us that use Grammarly, you know, so they are not necessarily expensive. Another myth is for you to implement Industry 4.0, you have to do a complete overhaul of your system. That's not true. Another myth is, you know, Industry 4.0 requires certain high-tech hardware. That's not true. You know, there are several others, but I'll wrap up here.
Thank you very much, Kingsley. Thank you very much, Edwin. So this next question is for Kingsley, actually. During the last section, Mr. Shehu mentioned soft skills. So in addition to that, with interdisciplinary skills in the organization, I know this is important for founders, employees, marketers, and everybody in the company. How do you foster collaboration between the marketing team and other departments to drive innovation and common goals?
Thank you. Yeah, so a lot of people actually acquire skills and all, but then for founders and entrepreneurs, especially in marketing and then working with other members of the team, I think first you need to probably establish structures, be able to bring everybody together to understand where exactly the goal is. One problem we see most times is where the marketing team alone comes up with the entire strategy, comes up with the plan, the budget, everything. Then you dump it on with finance, and the finance is telling you, no, we can't do this. we don't have the money for this. Or you go to the founder or the CEO and they tell you, oh, this is not our line of direction, this is not the sense of, and you feel like, oh, the past 3 weeks of brainstorm, the past 2 nights where you didn't sleep, where you worked all night and all of those things, you get frustrated. Or even narrowing it down to design team is telling you, oh, you want to do 3D animation, but the only person we have here is a static designer. So how do we move from here? We can't proceed with this idea. So that's where it becomes very pertinent that you are able to actually establish the structure that brings everybody on board at the beginning, right from planning into execution, and plan strategically. So it's not enough to just see things that work in one industry or work in one market or works in one area, and you don't understand how specific it is to your own industry or how specific it is to your business or to the audience you are catering for. Yes, everybody is on social media or everybody is on one billboard. Do you have to be there? Do you have to do this as a founder, as an entrepreneur, or do you have to publish on newspapers? Who's reading it there? Who's doing it for you? So you need to be very strategic about it. Then one very key thing is being able to actually, in my words, grow the culture of knowledge sharing. So amongst your team members, there should be a way to actually meet consistently, to share knowledge amongst between themselves, to be able to, okay, from the finance guy, understand what exactly it is or what the challenges are and how you can improve, or what they think you can help to improve on your side. The IT person, the design team, the marketing guy, the data guy, and every other thing. Then most importantly, as the founder, as an entrepreneur, as a business owner, you should be able to take the lead. So it's not enough to assign, it's not enough to tell people to do things, but actually let them see you leading by example and be at the front line, and then it's easier for the rest of the team to just plug and play, and I think everything is just going to be in sync.
Thank you very much. This question is for Omotayo. You know, in the context of global digital marketing trend, how do you balance and adopt international best practices with the need for localized strategies, especially in the Nigerian market?
Okay, thank you. So, most times when I'm trying to come up with ideas or think about strategies of how I want to execute, I like to ask myself that if I'm in a room of global experts in digital marketing or in growth generally, am I up to par with them? And that's one of the foundational things that keeps me learning continuously. So the first thing is you need to understand the market you are in first, which is the Nigerian market. The Nigerian market is quite diverse, right? It's very unique. If you probably travel to another country, Ghana, Kenya, their own market too is different from ours, right? So one way to look at it is understand your market, understand how it operates, demography, psychography, understand everything to the core, and then if you want to get to use the strategies or ideas from overseas, is that you can listen to podcasts, right? Try to understand how different growth or marketing people are helping to grow their own companies. And one podcast that really helped me this year is Lenny's podcast. You can just check that on Spotify or Apple. So what he does is that he interviews growth and marketing experts from Airbnb, Spotify, different global companies, right? And when I hear them speak and I hear the strategies they apply to improve the bottom line metrics of their company, I'm mostly blown away because I'm like, okay, I think this can also work for me. I just have to think about how to apply it to the local market here in Nigeria. There are tons of videos on YouTube you can also watch that would give you understanding of how people go about marketing, right? And very recently, I was watching a video on YouTube that was speaking about how marketing is going to look like in 2024. And one key takeout or highlight I got from that is video podcasts, right? We see YouTube Shorts, we see TikTok, we see Instagram Reels, and most times, anytime a reel or a video like that comes to you, if you scroll past like 10 videos, you mostly see someone with a mic talking. the person is doing a podcast, right? So all those short clips. So the video kind of mentioned that for brands to also win next year, they have to think of also using the podcast angle where, you know, you can put a couple of employees together to talk about your product in the podcast version, then cut out short clips, put it on YouTube Shorts, Instagram Reels, TikTok, and you know how the numbers on these videos can quickly blow up. And if you do that consistently, you begin to see results. So when you're looking at the global markets, right, in terms of the world, try to look at what is happening, what people are adapting to, and then apply it to the Nigerian market. It might not totally be the exact same way, but it will give you an idea of what can be done in this market. So that's the way I think about applying foreign strategies into the Nigerian local market.
Thank you very much. So one question, one more question before we round up, and this is for Adiola. You know, earlier this year, ChatGPT came out. AI made a lot of waves, right? There were predictions as to how AI was going to replace copywriters, marketers. A lot of us, in fact, were going to be wiped out. So, with Industry 4.0, with the tools and, you know, the technologies we have currently, do you still think that's the case, or do we have more career possibilities at this time?
Okay. So I think we've hammered on this AI matter so much. Like, man, you guys will be fine. Right? We'll really be fine. Because, I mean, let me think of an example. I don't know, something everybody can relate to it. Once upon a time, there were no cars now, right? People had to ride on donkeys and horses and whatnot. And I think as those things came up, somebody probably said, oh my God, who's going to ride on my donkey now that there are cars, right? But then you would adapt, you learn to ride a car too. And, you know, probably become a driver or own a car or learn to fix a car. Or something, learn to design a car, learn to design tires, learn to wash a car. You just adapt some way, somehow, right? So, yes, there's the argument, artificial intelligence is going to take our jobs and whatnot. And I think we can strike a balance. There's a middle ground to these things. Like the previous panel said, these tools are supposed to, you know, make work easier for us. It's not supposed to make us lazy, right? We're supposed to learn how to sort of collaborate with the tool. We're supposed to learn to collaborate with the tool. There is still that human touch. There's still that human element. There's still that human. Yeah, so there's still that human element, that human touch that's necessary, that as much as we train and continue to teach these models, right, we as professionals still have a role to play, right, in helping this, you know, tool churn out,
you know, the ability to adapt. So small businesses, entrepreneurs, career people need to have the ability to adapt. And then Mr. Tayo discussed on, you know, establishing structures as the key to adapting for businesses, business owners, founderization. And then Mr. Oko Kingsley discussed on, you know, understanding your markets. When we talk about adapting international strategies to local markets for marketers. So he mentioned that you need to adapt to your markets based on, you know, culture, language, and see how global strategies can fit into local markets. That way we can be more competitive. And just as Adiola has mentioned, AI is not replacing us, but AI has created more job opportunities to round up this section, because we're short of time, I just want each and every one of you here to give an advice to young marketers who are looking to build their careers in this evolving industry 4.0, because tomorrow,
in terms of taking advice from, so you might see different marketers talking about different things, but you have to define where you want to start, because you can't do everything in marketing. Most of the people you see post on LinkedIn are people who are in the top careers, in your top career levels, right? In as much as you want to take advice from them, you also need to know that you're starting from somewhere. You can't get to their level as quickly as possible. They've paid the price, they've put in the work already. So you have to understand that, and you have to also be determined to put in as much effort as possible into owning your craft, right? It's not something that will happen overnight, but you've got to, put in the grind. We've all paid our price. We're still paying our price to still move higher, right? And eventually, once you understand that and you're able to get mentors like Edwin had mentioned earlier to put you in the right place early enough in your career, then the sky is your starting point, not your limit.
Thank you so much. I will say three things. The first is every marketer here should invest heavily into podcast. In explaining Industry 4.0, artificial intelligence, and Internet of Things, I said artificial intelligence is your chatbots and your speech recognition. The world is going very fast into podcasting. And so if you're a marketer, whether for your personal brand or your company, and you're not leveraging on podcast, you're already losing out on Industry 4.0. Let me not deceive you. Another thing that I would like us to take out is, if you're a marketer, you should look at being a project manager. You do not need to be the best person in the room. In fact, you need to be surrounded by people that are skilled in certain areas and are better than you. But you should be extremely good at project managing and people managing. The third thing I want you to take out from is, it skips me now, sales. As a marketing person, you need to know that whether you're building awareness or whether it's a conversion campaign, just like Tayo had said, and was his drive in changing careers, is the fact that every marketing should end in sales. Thank you.
Advice. So I'll be quick. Tayo has mentioned starts. I think that's the most important thing at any point. Whatever you want to do, the first step is actually start. Go from somewhere. Take that first step and all. Beyond all of this, try to adapt. Trends are changing almost every day, every week. Things are changing. Digital tools are changing. There are new tools coming in. Try to see how you can adapt them into what your current realities are. Be creative. That's one very important thing. You cannot keep doing things the way my father did it in his time. So we need to see how we can create around what we have and be innovative about it. Be very digitally fluent. When I say digitally fluent, is being able to actually use as many tools as possible. Yes, there's AI now. Do you even have the basic idea of what that AI can help you do and how you can improve your work, as opposed to actually seeing it as the enemy that's coming? And then be embrace inclusiveness. Be inclusive. Let's just put it like that. So be very inclusive. Understand that there's several different people from different backgrounds that you'll be meeting. Don't be very averse to meeting different kind of people, doing different kind of things, trying new things and the likes. And most important, or very important as well, emotional intelligence. Be intelligent about the emotions around you where you are, such that you are not saying the wrong things at the wrong places. And just think the sky will be your starting point again.
Okay. So to wrap it up, my advice for young marketers, I would say one thing that has really helped me stand out in my own career is my I think it's been result oriented, and the willingness to always go the extra mile to produce the quality of results that is expected, right? And some things that can help you achieve this, again, heavily, heavy on having soft skills, right? These hard skills will take you far, but trust me, having soft skills will take you like a lot farther, right? You know, things as simple as effective communication. Everybody says it's buzzword, they throw it around, but it's a lot more important to your job than you think, right? Time management, discipline, job ownership, heavy on job ownership, right? I think even to as simple as getting into Digify, getting my job at Bluebird, one thing Ms. Florence would always say is, oh, when they're looking for this interview, she had volunteered at XYZ number of places, and that was one thing she was very impressed about. When I landed my job with Bluebird, my MD then would say he was struggling to fix, you know, to get the what's this thing called? He was struggling to get, you know, the projector working and, you know, fix himself up. And Diolax got up out of the audience, you know, came to the front and tried to help us make it work. And that was one quality he saw in her that made him see or think, oh, I want this person on my team, right? So the willingness to always go the extra, like the extra mile in ensuring that you get the quality of results that you're looking to get is something that will get you even further than just having a skill. So you guys should hold on.
Thank you, everyone. Advice needs no explanation. So I thank you all for coming today. And
The next session. We'll be having a quick break, like 2 minutes. Technical team, please fix the mics. Right, so while we are waiting for them to fix the mic, we'll be moving straight to the top panel discussion, which is the last for today. We can call it a day. The theme is essential skill for navigating Industry 4.0 landscape and advancing your career in digital marketing. So they've said it all about how they have been able to use different tools for their career in terms of digital marketing. Edwin talked a lot about different things. Same with Kingsley, Adiola, and Omotayo. Thank you, everyone, for that insight. And I hope we've been able to pick 1 or 2 lessons from them. So next is also how can you advance your career? So you have been in a career in digital marketing. How can you advance your career? Knowing the fact that so many tools, so many things are happening. There is AI. People are saying, yeah, you take our job. People are saying that, oh, we'll not have job in 2 years. So how can you now use those tools to advance your career in the digital marketing space? So that is what our next panel discussion is all about. And I'm going to be hearing from like our alumnus from cohort 2 down to cohort 6, 5, 4, and cohort 9. So moving on, I'll be calling on our panelists for the next session. The first person on my list is Chukuma John Bosco Amobi. Is a DigifyPro alumnus cohort 2.0. Is a proud alumnus of Digify Africa, Nigeria, a recipient of the prestigious 2018 AAN Young Lifers Award, and he has over 5 years of invaluable experience. Chukuma Domiko stands as a seasoned professional in the dynamic realm of strategy, marketing, and communication. With a commendable track record, he has constantly delivered impactful marketing communication strategies and spearheaded successful integrated campaigns. He is proficient in analyzing market dynamics, product landscapes, and consumer behavior. He excels at developing compelling positioning strategies that resonate with target audiences and help businesses achieve their business goals and objectives. Chukuma John Bosco has demonstrated a progress of leading pitches and strategy sessions, consistently generating substantial sales growth for renowned brands and organizations. He possesses good communication skills that transcend beyond business levels. Firmly rooted in his belief in the power of teamwork and collaboration, he is adept at inspiring and implementing groundbreaking ideas to propel businesses towards growth, visibility, and profitability in today's fiercely competitive landscape. Welcome to the podium for the panel discussion. Maybe Chukuma Chambusco. All right, so. Advertising, data, and experiential marketing. So welcome to the podium, Ezinwa Osai from cohort 5.0. Okay, so our next panelist is like more or less the recent cohort. Her name is Pendo Balogun. She's from cohort 9.0. Pendo Balogun is a senior account executive at AT Resources Limited, a specialized communication and event consultancy focused on providing public relations, events, and media service to corporate, individuals, and brands. Before moving to the PR sector, she has experience in the media space, where she worked with Eco FM and Media Lagos in writing drama scripts and recording different drama programs. She has volunteered for the World Health Organization on projects. She has worked on projects for brands like Meta, NIPSS, Brand Africa, Scum Alliance, and other brands in the NGO sector. She's an alumnus of Digify Africa, an international youth-led organization that is at the forefront of shaping African data future. So welcome to the podium, Pendo Balogun. All right. Diversity and talent. Raise the ambassador as key contributors to the global dialogue and action on data solution for the United Nations. On the communication side of things, Israel is a course rep on social media. So welcome me, Israel Oyenigbeyin from cohort 4.0.
Thank you. All right. Good afternoon, everyone. I want to welcome you to this panel discussion. All right. So we'll just standing on existing protocol. I'll just let us to dive deep directly. So, Mr. Chukuma, I want to believe you are the grandfather here. when we look at different cohorts.
I don't have any white beards.
All right, so I'll just want you to tell this House of Assembly. I would like you to let us know
Okay.
When it comes to DigifyPro, just tell us about your experience, the skill sets that you learned when you're in the bootcamp, and how it helped you to navigate, how you've been able to function effectively in your work, your industry experience. Just highlight those skills that stood out for you.
Okay, all right. Good afternoon, everyone, once more. So I would, I'm seeing, they called me a grandfather, so I'm seeing my great-grandfathers. I'm seeing Edwin, I'm seeing Tayo, and I've seen a lot of other guys. And I'm seeing my mama here. So I feel very, very grateful and happy to be here. And there's something that was missed out from my bio, is the fact that when it was reading out my bio, it didn't say proud Digify alumnus. I put it everywhere. If you open all my documents or any bio I've written for anywhere, I put it proud. And the reason for that is, I won't tell us long stories. But I just need to paint this picture so you understand why I'm very proud about the program and about the value the program offers for those that went to the program and on what the program can for their career life. So I have marketing.
myself, but I think I have a very loud voice that will do justice. I have literally no marketing career before I went to Digify. Beautiful thing about me, I graduated from medical sciences, but I didn't want to do anything medical. But long story is that, you know the parental influence. I want you to be a doctor, and I had to struggle and just got out of medical school. But then I knew I had flair for marketing, I knew I had flair for media, I knew I had flair for entertainment. And the reason for that is not far-fetched. Even as a kid, I can tell you about 10 nostalgic ads that I reenacted with my siblings. And I told Mrs. Florence this story when doing my interview. I had then Indomie to me to you. My brothers and sisters acted that ad to the extent that they don't like the ad because they acted it too much. Because I was fascinated by the fact that people who you know from nowhere could do something and endear you to a brand and endear you to a product. And I've stuck to consuming Indomie noodles because of that ad. And there have been other fantastic noodles by the side, as some persons would have attested to, but that noodles has stuck to me. So that was basically one of my, pointer to say that this is something you want to do for life and this is a career you want to build. So leaving school, I was looking for how am I going to do this? And then again, I think I'll also lay preambles to some of the things we are going to be talking about here. The importance of having a very good interpersonal relationship, people skill. I got into Digify through Aduro Daniel. I met Aduro Daniels. Aduro Daniel was in cohort 1. I met Aduro Daniels in Calabar doing my youth service. He was a senior, I think he was in batch A, I was batch C. So he was already leaving service when I was coming in. So random discussions, we met at a friend's house, random discussion, oh, what's life going to be after youth service? He knew he wanted to do marketing, so he was going back to Lagos, he's going to look for a school, he's going to look for a program. And I was like, marketing, is it those people that do ad? He said, not only ad, but a whole lot of other things. Because I felt he had information, I didn't have the information. I was coming from a medical background, all I knew was physiology, anatomy, and all of it. So he went through Digify, and when he graduated, I think when he started the program, they were posting every time on Facebook, and I kept on following the story. His graduation, I came around, he didn't allow me to enter. So I got angry at Digify that, me, I want to be here, but you people don't want me to enter. And then graduation 2.0, again, when we had the whole application, I applied, it was a pool, and I had the near success syndrome. I was in, I was not in. And one day I just took the bold step. I was going to go and see the woman behind this program. Then I went down, badged in. They were like, who are you? I said, I applied, I have not gotten a response. I'm here to know I have not gotten a response. Then it was, I think the admin then was a marker, and she was like, hey, if you've not gotten a response, go, we'll get back to you. I said, no, I'll get my response. The yes or no is going to come to that. I think that also like, this boldness, and then introduced me to Miss Florence. When I told her, oh, I finished service, okay, background, medicine. She was like, what are you doing here? I said, I gave her the whole story, and that was how she said, you want to do this? I said, yes, I want to do this. So I felt maybe she saw the zeal, and she showed the passion for you to even take the bold step of coming, looking for where to ask, why have I not gotten a response? She gave me a task. I repeated that task like 6 times. And by the 6th time, it was my introductory video to get into the program. By the 6th time, I was able to tell a good story. She loved the story. But I think by the time I was leaving that place, I was asking myself, I've made a very wrong turn. This woman will grieve you. This place is going to, you had to do something 6 times before she said, yeah, this is perfect. But also, I also told myself, yeah, this is where you are going to start from the scratch, but if you pull this, through these 3 months, your life will not remain the same. And that's it. Thank you.
All right, thank you. I love what you said about you going to ask them that you've not gotten a response. So is the confidence for me. And I think we even share a similar experience because I remember in Abuja when they were shortlisting participants. I was not shortlisted. Like, I was not part of the program. They've started about three weeks or 4 weeks into the program. So I remember I was just disturbing them on Instagram, like the Digify and just writing them, I've not been shortlisted. And I want to assume that Mrs. Flores was the one replying me, was like, you are not shortlisted, you are not shortlisted now, then why are you disturbing us? But I remember I keep mounting the pressure that I want to be part of this program. And God had it, I think 4 weeks into the program. Yeah, somebody dropped out of the program, so they were looking for a replacement. And my name did not pop up again. It was Joshua. Thank God to Joshua. Joshua was the one that now said, there was this guy that is always on our DM. Let's reach out to him, man. That was why I joined the program. So I want to believe sometimes when you want something, you should just go for it. So I like the fact that you walk down to the hub to come and ask them that, yo, I didn't get this push you. So that just stood out for me. I love that. Thank you. All right, moving on to Mr. Eze. I want you to, you've been on the program, you learned some skills, and I just want to highlight for us those skill sets that you learned, and in the course of your journey, skills that you've been able to implement. Maybe you're doing a project, or there was a workload for you, but the skills you learned in the program, how you've been able to implement, and the success story. If you have any, please kindly share.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. Can you all hear me? Yes. Okay. One very I learned in DeFi that I think applies to every one of us that passed through the program was adaptability. So I come from an art background. I studied English language and literature education. I had no idea what marketing was. I saw ads on TV, but I never knew, the goals behind those things. And someone who I worked with during the 2019 election sent me the link to the DeFi, and I was even skeptical. I was saying, oh, what if I go for the interview and I'm not accepted? The person just said, just go, you will get accepted. And the person could say that based on the confidence that I could use the card reader very well during the elections. Now, in 2020, after the DeFi, during my internship, I worked on a team that had 3 persons who studied marketing. One of them studied abroad. So they were very, very good. I had to understudy them while we worked together. Now, during Digify, we used to have exercises with Kahoot. It was like a game, and we're using it for tests and simple quizzes. During one of the projects we worked on, we had to track sales of FMCG products across 6 states in the country, and we didn't have enough hands to do it. So we're just brainstorming how are we going to get this data across 6 different states, and we couldn't travel at the time. So I just remembered, oh, we used to do something that involved just clicking a few buttons on your phone, and I suggested it to them. And we had to look for something similar, a similar solution that we could get tablets, sent to different locations. And with about 20 people, we could track daily sales of FMCG products across multiple states at the same time. And it was in real time. Now, that's really helped. And at that agency where I worked, it was like what opened doors for me, because it looked like a joke at the first, because when I suggested it looked like, this is just a game, right? But then we now made research, looked at a better solution, something that could give us more flexibility, and we could tweak it to, our taste. And it really, really helped. It saved us a lot of time, it saved us a lot of money, and we could get data in real time. We could monitor it on the go from our phones, at night, at any time. So that really, really helped. if I wasn't open to the idea of, going for the interview or learning, different things across different touch points during the program, probably I wouldn't have been able to help meet a business need at that time, because it's saved us a whole lot of money. And I think that's one of the blessings of Digify. You just get to find out different solutions that can help you advance already existing ideas and also create business value.
All right, thank you. I love that. I believe if you're a participant of DigifyPro, you know that every week there is always a live brief, and in the process you need to collaborate with a team and provide solution. And most times, I think some of those briefs they will give you on Thursday, and on Saturday you are expected to present, and so all hands will be on deck. So I like where you said that you are able to adapt. So you always find yourself in situations where, you just need to provide solution. And so if you've not been there before, it might be a little bit difficult. So thank you for sharing that. So I will need to ask you this question now. We're talking about the global trends, like global trends and the future outlooks. As a digital marketer, I want you to just tell us things we should expect, right? So as a digital marketer, I know we are in the age where AI is, automation, everyone is talking about it, but as a digital marketer, how do you improve yourself? How do you get ready for anything that is coming? I just want you to just paint the possibility for us.
Okay, so a digital marketer, digital marketing generally is actually very multifaceted. There are different aspects of it, and oftentimes, even if perhaps you're the one who is manning the ads, you're the one who, the Facebook ads specialist, there are times when you need to advise around the content. There are times you need to, content in terms of the video or the graphics now. At times you would also need to advise around the copies or the content in this case. So all in all, you get to realize that a lot of times you need to have knowledge in a myriad of things at the same time. Now already, this makes you then realize the importance of being very diverse. And to answer the question, already your job makes you diverse. So it gives you an advantage at being at the top of things, current trends and all of that. Currently, as everyone has spoken, and Industry 4.0 is mostly around AI. The digital platforms at this point already have started integrating, like for Facebook, there is the advantage, plus not only the targeting, it's even in the captions, where you have to generate a number of captions, and then AI goes on to choose the creatives and the captions that are going to be used. Now, the same thing applies as well in Google. Google now has the performance max campaigns for, ads. So, all in all, this just gets you to know that you need to be out on the top of things at the digital market side. If not, you're going to be left behind. Personally, if I use my own experience, I know how marketing goes on to, you're doing marketing at the time you might need to do CRM. You need to see the pipeline and all of that. Personally, I had to go learn Salesforce. It might be a skill I might not need. Yes, that's possible, because almost everyone here has a certification they've done that they've not touched on for at least 1 year, 2 years. But then, knowing that and knowing the need to stay relevant, you actually need to, be on top of things, get skills. And even though you might not need that thing, and that's one interesting thing with these things, even when you might not have used that skill, there will be a module, a course in that certification that could apply to some other thing. So all in all, I think it's actually important to stay ahead, and always learning and constantly learning and iterating helps you do just that.
All right, thank you. I love what you said about learning what is outside your environment. So as a digital marketer, you just need to be versatile because you will need to interface with people that are not even in your industry. And so the skill sets, the knowledge you have will help you better. I mean, if you just focus on digital marketing, I mean, you will need to talk to software developers, you need to work with people in outside that space. So learning is actually a key way to grow. Thank you for sharing that. All right, so I'll be moving on to Pento. My apology, they used to tell us that ladies first, but I mean, right now, it's like you are ladies, I will not say ladies last. So Pento, I want to believe on this table, should I say you are the last born?
Yeah, I'm the baby because I'm sitting beside my facilitators.
Okay, so Pento, I like your career journey. I like how, I mean, you've been able to navigate the old trend and you're doing well. I mean, we should please, a round of applause for Pento, because if you follow our journey from cohort 8, and I mean, she's head of a department right now in the office, so that means she's doing something well, right? So Pento, I need you to just highlight some of those, I want you to give an advice really, right? So throughout your journey with Digify, leaving Digify, facing the, whatever you're doing at work, I want you to just advise an aspiring digital marketer, someone that is coming into the industry. What advice will you give them? How will you tell them to prepare? What are those things they should just put in place as they're coming into the career?
Okay, thank you. I would first start by saying that I remember before I joined Digify, I was teaching anyways. I just finished NYC and I didn't want to come back to Lagos because I don't know what to do with my life. I just stayed at the north there to teach. Then Firebee sent me the link that I should. I think they've even started anyways. So, but someone dropped out and they sent me a link that, do I still want to do it? And I said, I don't have a laptop. And I looked at me and I said, are you okay? Do anybody have a laptop around? I said, yes, they have a laptop. So he asked me, do you have a laptop? And I said, okay, I have a laptop. And that was how I joined Digify. And I must honestly tell you that whatever you know how to do it well. But there's one thing I know, even though my cohort then and my group members sometimes, some people go and sleep. You be the only one on the brief, the presentation. And now it's paying off for me. Because I work in a communications firm and it's a fast-paced organization. Sometimes in the night, I've been sitting down there, I'm calling my phone, I'm working on my phone. Because I'm seeing messages I need to respond to, there are briefs I need to attend to, but I'm working there on my phone. But the beauty of it is that I learn how to work under pressure in Digify. Because there are sometimes 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, you are still trying to attend to briefs. So if there's one thing, and one thing that also helps me in my organization, I'm still working where I got in. Because I remember the day we did interview, it was on Google Meet. As the interview was 10 to 1 to 2 or so, nobody had come into my Google Meet. So I remember that I went to Firebee's house to go and do it. So when it was past 1, I told myself, come and buy food. If nobody comes into your room, at least just eat. So I went to buy the food at 1:30. When it was 1:35 or so, I think my boss, she had interviewed some people, but she did not like them. So I remember that on the call telling Ms. Florence that, is there anybody else I could interview? And Ms. Florence just mentioned my name. I just pushed the food aside and jumped into the meeting. Till now, I don't know what I told my boss. And that was after just within 5 minutes, she said, I like this one. And that was how I got in. I got in more like an intern, but now I'm still in my firm. I've grown now to head of the department. And in the firm where I work to, I tell people that make yourself indispensable. I put my mind in everything I do. That if you wake me up in the middle of the night and ask me about the brands I'm working on, I'll tell you what is happening on that brand. And that is one thing that even if my boss will say, they'll be like, if you need something, go and ask them. I can't always remember some of those things like that. So that's what I do. So I tell people, whatever you're doing, know how to do it well. And also to anybody here, your phone is also something that will really help you. I remember when I joined Digify, I don't know what they call Zoom. I don't know what it's called, Google Slide, nothing. My brain was just empty. But I knew it was in the class
In fact, my mind was always disturbing in the class because I don't know how that thing will just go on. I was just, hey, you start calling my name on the group that. Don't know your so it was not so rough for me. But I tried as much as possible. I always used to do. So instead of being sitting on challenge, TikTok challenge, shaking, I don't know what else to go and do there. Use your phone to do something important. There were times that it was my phone. I remember Canva. I learned Canva and Digify. When I didn't have a laptop then, I used my phone for designs. So make yourself indispensable and learn new things, not about trends. Know what is going on in the society. Don't just sit down and waste your time. Just be indispensable. Whatever you know how to do. If it's video creation, learn it well. Whether you like it or not, reels are actually taking over. Videos are so if it's video creation, know how to do it well. If it's content writing, you're very, very good in it. And a lot of us stop depending too much on AI. Because even though I work for content. When I say content that is AI, I will know. Once I see something like diving, digital last year, I'm like, oh God, why are you doing this to me? Even though you put it into AI, learn how to reward it, so at least it looks original. Don't let people know that everybody is not using ChatGPT, this one is from chat. Be very, very, how would I put it? Don't let people predict you. You're unpredictable, yeah. Whatever you're doing, just know how to do it. That's the advice I'm going to give to you. Stop sitting on challenge every time.
Thank you for sharing. I love what you said about when you joined Digify. I want to believe for some of us that are on the program, when we are on that program, there are some people in our team that they're just ghost member. I mean, it's when we want to do presentation that you see them. But when you're doing the work from back end, you not see, like they will not show up. And also, I remember during our time, we always give a responsibility. Okay, you are the one that will design the slide from 1 to 2. But there are some people that you're always chasing them. They will not be there. But those people that are really putting the work, I mean, they will tell you today that it's paying out for them. I mean, I remember there are some skill set that actually I learned on the program, and today I'm able to, I'm even monetizing it because I've done it for people, now they pay me for it. So it's always a good way. There is this thing they say you should learn first. When you learn, then you can now earn from it. I think it's a good one. When you learn, then over time, with what you've learned, you can now earn from it. So I think that will be a takeaway for us. So we don't have much time. I just want us to give our thinking. We're talking about Industry 4.0 now. Everybody is talking about skill set, but I want us to just highlight or just share the soft skills. I think, yeah, the soft skills is okay. All right, so I want us to just highlight the soft skills. I know, yeah, we're talking about the hard skills. You should be able to deliver. You should be able to do this, but I think the soft skill is actually more important. I won't say more important, but it's equally important because you're not working with a machine. You're not working with a robot. You have all right, so I want to believe that as much as we have these skill sets, we're not working with a robot, we're not working with a machine. We interface with people. So I want us to emphasize on the need for soft skills, I mean the human-centric skills, because either you like it or not, you work with a team, and we live in a wonderful world now that, I mean, you have people outside your geographical location. I mean, you work with people in the UK, in the US, Canada. I mean, people outside your time zone. When I joined Digify, I was working with Mrs. Florence. Miss Florence is in the US. Me, I'm in Nigeria. It is when she wants to go and sleep, that's when me, I'm waking up. I mean, she disturbed my time zone already. So I want to believe we are in a generation where you work with people like that, time zone, relationship. You work with people that they are not Africans. So how do we balance this? Can we just talk about the soft skills that are needed in this new dispensation? Permit me to use that word. Just if it has, you have any experience, you can just share. So randomly, I'll just talk about it.
Okay. I don't think there is any soft skill that is needed, particularly in this new dispensation that has not been existing right before. However, I think it's for, if there's anything that is more important at this time, it's one thing. I have a personal philosophy, which I feel I tell people to, if you like it, you adopt it. I say I would always remain a child. And when you study the psychology of a child is innocent, a child is fearless. You've seen lots of videos where you have a child grabbing a snake. You as an adult, if you see a snake, first thing is for you to take off. A child will be there examining the snake and looking for how to grab that snake. Then a child is very curious, and that's why you see them climbing heights, doing things that will even scare them. And then a child most times is humble and has a sense of gratitude. If you have these basic skills in the business world, in your personal life, it's going to help you a lot. And when you talk about Industry 4.0, I like the justice, the way my senior, Edwin, broke down the concept of Industry 4.0. You're talking about artificial intelligence, you're talking about Internet of Things. These are things that they are not out of the blue. For me, I think we've reached the apotheosis of advancement of the Silicon Valley, which is AI. I'm looking for what's going to come after AI. For now, for me, I can't see a trend that will come after AI. However, it's now the application of these AIs in various aspects of our life that is going to define the next industry. And that's where the attribute of a child, being fearless, being humble, being curious, not curiosity that starts today and ends tomorrow. For me, I also think as an industry, as a market, or even as a person, there's need for you. Don't be nuanced to just one particular place or one particular field. As much as it's good in your, what's it called? As a marketer, understand the marketing, understand all the technologies, but do not limit yourself to marketing and technology. Read the news, read psychology, read economists. I call myself at the office, they call me roadside economist because I predict a lot of things that happen at the economy. And people are saying, oh, maybe you should go for a majors in economics. But no, it's because I picked interest in economics. I hate maths, I hate numbers. But with time, I had to pick interest in all of this because I've understood that life is intertwined to every discipline. You can't do without one. As a marketer, at some point in your life, you need to sell. When you go to pitches, you are selling. It's no longer marketing at that point. You need to sell. And I tell people, when you go to pitches, it's even hard. You are trying to sell an idea, an intangible item. It's not water. I'm telling you to put a 50 million and do this, and people react this way and give it. It's selling. So you leave the pitch arena. Then it's time for implementation. Execution, you are looking at persuasion. At some point in the team, you all have agreed with this way. As a child will always listen to say, okay, mommy say I shouldn't do this. But mommy, why shouldn't I do this? Mommy will explain why. You ask why again. In all of that. So when we make it seem like there is a particular skill set or soft skill that is needed for this dispensation, I tend not to agree. Those soft skills will be here for every dispensation, so it's for you to build it. So become a child, be curious, be adaptable, be humble, have a sense of gratitude at every point in time, and then also be fearless. Take on initiative, do things from your guts. A lot of times I come up with strategies and I'm sleeping and then I wake up. I have just this instinct. I follow this instinct and sometimes it works out. Sometimes other people help me refine it. So I'll just remain that the soft skill you need at this point in time with a whole lot of advancements happening is for you to remain a child. Thank you.
All right. In 1 minute, please.
All right. The soft skills I think that are very, very relevant. That first of all is collaboration, and secondly is community. Collaboration in the sense that oftentimes, for me, I major in art direction in design, and a lot of times I have to deal with strategists, even as far as finance and people in operations. A lot of decisions I make is based on the knowledge I have of their own work. So for instance, I know that if I'm, let's say, working on maybe a documentary project, I have to understand the logistics part, you know, the cost implications and all of that. So it really, really helps understanding, collaborating with other people, understanding their own perspectives to issues. Then also community. Digify really, really gave us that, that as a privilege, sort of. After the program, the 20 of us in my cohort, we are still really, really close-knit, that we still have calls with each other, you know, share ideas. What are you learning in your own field? You know, what are you doing in your own space? So those two things, they are really, really important. And I think for every person who wants to go into marketing, it's just, it's almost invaluable. Thank you.
All right. To add to what everyone has said, you know, having a community and being curious as a child, I would also include the need to be ready. There are times when we've seen, if you're a movie person, where a certain actor was cast. He was originally someone who was 70, and he was cast just because he could just step in for someone, do a little audition, and he got the role. So, in as much as you get to know these skills, be ready to for that opportunity. Yes, that opportunity that is going to, you know, change your life. So that's what I'll add to that as well.
I think solution. Learn to prefer solutions. That makes you a very important part of the team. And also communication. Learn to communicate. Because I work in the communications firm, sometimes communication is a problem. Because people give you a headache. This is not what they want, but they don't know. Sometimes they know what to say. They have it in their mind, but they don't know how to express themselves. And it gives you that want to talk, tell people, the audience, a problem, especially with some brands. Like, by the time you now get to hear what they want to say, we're like, why don't you just say this way? Why are you giving me a headache? And another one I would say is emotional intelligence. Depending on, because you don't know the people, the background they are coming from. Right? For me, because I work on global brands sometimes, and I've met with different people, so you need to understand them from where they're coming from. And, you know, we Africans, we are too, all this respect, culture, blah, blah, blah. And the white people there, they really do not have this stuff. So you really do not have to take it to heart. They're like, hey, they did not respect me. Put your respect somewhere, please. So learn how to be adaptable at the same time. That's just what I would say. But the major one is a problem-solving skill. You really need that. Nobody wants someone that will just sit and not do anything for them. Thank you.
All right, so that will be the end of our panel discussion for this section. All right, thank you for listening, and thank you for coming in to share. I appreciate it.
All right, so we have a good pictures. We've almost come to the end of the session. We are running up like in 2 minutes now. So we'll be having pictures after this session. So if you are a new member, like you just joined Digify or apply, we would like to have pictures with you. Like you apply for cohorts, online course 4.0. So we would like to have you to snap with us. We have alumni snapping too. Right, so alumni, we need to have pictures.
Are there testimonials? Because he came late. And I said, just hold on. Volunteers and loads of hands are up. We have 350 testimonials. And like I said, it gladdens my heart every time I see them. If you are from Digify, if you've graduated, photo. Meanwhile, this is the end, right? Please make sure before you leave that you as you're going out, we have a special branded bag for you. And then all the speakers, thank you so much. Please stay behind because we're going to go to crock pots together. The restaurant. Are you still speaking? I'm still saying something.
DigifyPro alum. Okay, you want to say? Okay.
I want to thank. Yes. Sorry. Can you see? These are just a few. This is just a handful. Jay, what are you doing? Hey, Chineke. This is my right hand man. Please, Khadija.
Who is the left hand man?
Who's the best man? Oh. Okay. You know, make sure you're showing every face.
My shoe.
You have to bend down at the front. Make sure you show. Oh, we've not met. How are you? Make sure your face shows.
My face will show. How is it now?
My shoe can show. Just applied.
You just applied.
Please.
You're starting lecture on the 1st.
February. Please, let have you.
Yeah. Bayonle, congrats. Oh, Brandai. You work in Brandai, no? Okay, sort of.
See only two people.
Only two people that applied. Where is the other person? Oh, there's another lady. I think she has left. Okay. What's your name? I am in the. Are you in the water? You may follow instructions. Okay. Alright, so are you in the WhatsApp group? Follow instructions. That's the secret. Do it, Jonas.
Okay, let me stay here.
Hello.
So on our way out, we will get our package. Speakers, volunteers, please wait behind. So we can call it a day. Thank you for coming. Thank you for attending this year's DigifyPro industry event. So see you next year, same time but not same venue. So you can come to the back for your gifts, your package. Can I have it, please?